everyone. For today, we will going to talk about what we can do to prevent teenage pregnancy.
Many people believe that teen parents are reckless and unfit to nurture a child. Teen mothers, in particular, confront numerous emotional challenges, like how will they continue their education? What do you think their parents will say? Should they keep it hidden? Should they abort a pregnancy? What if their child is born without a father? Many pregnant teenagers are unsure what to do because they are drowning in this and other doubts. A few weeks ago, I was at the grocery store helping my mother buying our groceries when I was thrown to a young girl. She couldn't have been more than 15 years old, and her stomach was too enormous to conceal. She was clearly pregnant, and even worse, she was wheeling a stroller with a small child, whose only word seemed to be a mother. Every time when I observe an incredibly adolescent lady becoming a mother at a time when her major concern should be significantly less than of those raising another human being, I am frequently frightened. The truth is that every year, an increasing number of teenagers are having children at an alarmingly young age. This begs the question of what might be done to reduce and prevent teenage pregnancy rates. Teenagers must have a thorough awareness of abstinence, contraceptive methods, and penalties in order to avoid teenage pregnancy. Although there are other methods for preventing a teenage girl from becoming pregnant, but sexual abstinence is the only one that is 100% successful. This is the only procedure that ensures there is no possibility of becoming pregnant and protect the teens from STDs. For many years, abstinence was thought to be a decision based on religious or moral convictions. According to Hani R. Kazam, in her work of Promotion of Sexual Abstinence, Reducing Adolescent Sexual Activity and Pregnancies, she says that sexual abstinence is not connected with public hazards and has to be presented and promoted as the most effective primary prevention for unplanned pregnancies. So, the more informative supply to youth on the matter, the more they are likely to make this decision. As a result, it's critical that youth are taught about the health benefits of abstinence. Various contraceptive strategies are another form of pregnancy prevention that is taught in schools. Despite the fact that abstinence remains the greatest approach to prevent pregnancy among teenagers, a significant number of them will engage in sexual encounters. As a result, it's critical that teens will be given a wide range of information on how to do so safely while utilizing various contraceptive methods. Don't have sex, but if you do, use condoms, says the majority of education in schools by Kazam. The issue that arises as a result of this is that teenagers aren't getting enough information about the various types of birth control, condoms, and other methods of prevention that are available. Contraceptives are discussed in sex education, but mainly as useless, preventing pregnancy and infections, according to Helen Lippman. These contraceptive seminars should also contain information on how to obtain various birth control techniques. This is a strategy that to ensure contraception use for many young teenagers who, rather than seeking aid from their parents, choose to have sex without protection simply because such protection is not made available to them. For most teenagers, the real consequences of having a child at such a young age are unknown. Teens need to be aware of the harsh reality of raising a baby and the negative effect that an unplanned pregnancy can cause both in the mother and the child's lives. In the article of The Decline of Teen Marriage is a Serious Problem by Patrick F. Fagan, he talks about the effects of having a child out of wedlock at a very young age. He states that the mother's new offspring can experience the following. It lowered health for newborns and increased risk of early infant death. Next is, it is retarded cognitive, especially verbal development. Another thing, it lowered educational achievement and it lowered also the job attainment. And another, it increased behavior problem. It also lowered impulse control, and also it warped social development. And the last, it increased welfare dependency. Teenagers must be aware of the tremendous effect their offspring will have in society in the future, and the high risk of the cycle repeating once this child becomes teen. Teens must also be aware of the fact that an unplanned pregnancy will take a toll in their aspects of their lives. For example, as Fagan points out, only about a third of teen parents who have a kid before they turn 18 complete high school. Teens are forced to consider whether sex is worth the danger of irreversibly ruining their lives and the lives of their future children when they are exposed to such knowledge concerning the results of an unwanted pregnancy. On the other hand, for some people, sex is viewed only as a method of reproduction, and the idea of using contraceptives and other methods of birth control is simply unnatural. This belief is preached by many religious institutions, primarily in Roman Catholic Church. In the article of The Purpose of Sex is Reproduction, Paul Murray claims that sexual intercourse cannot be separated from its primary purpose of reproduction. This principle has been endorsed by a large number of Roman Catholics. Although some may consider sex to be solely for the purpose of reproduction, it cannot be reduced to having intercourse in order to produce children for everyone. A couple made up of two mature people in solid, stable relationship, for example, they should be utilize sex to express their love, share intimacy, and strengthen their emotional tie. Furthermore, the assumption that a teen will weight this belief that sex is exclusively used to generate children when deciding whether or not to engage in sexual activity is unrealistic and unhelpful way of thinking. This idea will not deter adolescent girls from experimenting and possibly becoming pregnant. Of course, nothing, including education and contraception, will work universally. In addition, it is the responsibility of the parents in school to educate teenagers about the dangers of adolescent pregnancy. When it comes to sex, parents can have a big impact on their children's decision if they take the time to be involved. As a parents of your children, you must supervise and monitor your children's activity. You must know where your children's all the time. Like, are they safe? What are they doing? Are they involved in useful activities? If they aren't with you, are responsible adults supervising them? You may be accused of being too snappy, but you can help your children understand that parents who are know where their kids are. You must know your children's friends and their families. Since peers have a strong influence on teens, do your best to help your children choose friends from families with similar values. Welcome your children's friends into your home and talk with them regularly. Talk with their parents about curfews, common rules, and expectations. Help your teens have options for the future that are much more attractive than early pregnancy and parenthood. Help them set real, meaningful goals for their future. and talk with them about what they will need to do to reach their goals and help them to reach these goals. Help them see how becoming a parent can detail the best of plans. For example, childcare expenses can make it almost impossible to afford college. Help them learn to use their free time in constructive ways, being sure they set aside time to do their homework. Community service can help teach them job skills and can put them in touch with a variety of committed and caring adults. Emphasize how much you value education. Set high expectations for your child's school performance. If your child's not progressing well in school, intervene early. School failure is one of the key risk factors for teen parenthood. Keep track of your children's grades and meet with the teachers. Volunteer at school if you can. Limit teens' after-school jobs to no more than 20 hours per week, so there is ample time for homework and enough time left over for restful sleep and socializing. Schools can also play a role in reducing pregnancy by giving critical information and encouraging youth to make appropriate sex educations. As a result, adults must ensure that teenagers have a solid grasp of abstinence, contraceptive, and implications for sexual engagement.